I've been on a trip with the Polestar for 15 days, and in this video I'm going to talk about my experience living in the car and how it is to go on the streets and just pick a spot wherever you want and then sleep in it, and the next day wake up in the beautiful experience with the nature. And I'm also going to tell you exactly how much it cost living in the car and how much we saved living in the car. I'm also going to tell you about, is it worth the hassle to do what we did, and can you do that in other cars? And because I haven't seen so many videos of the Polestar on YouTube, I'm also going to tell you about my experience, what it is driving the car. This summer, my girlfriend and I decided to go on a trip to Lake Constance together. And we took this car with us. And instead of sleeping in the hotel all the time, we also slept in this car sometimes. Now I say sometimes, yes, we did not sleep the whole days in this car. For 6 nights, we took a hotel or Airbnb, and the other 9 nights, we slept in the car around Lake Constance. Of course, there's not so much room for 2 people, but it's enough for sleeping in it, and it also felt a bit cozy sometimes. You can watch the stars through the sunroof, and then after you slept, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you are in nature, you're greeted by the sun, and you can go for a walk, or my girlfriend likes to do yoga at the lake, and you have all the space that you want. Now, when it was raining, of course, then you're a bit more confined, but then you can just drive to a cafe and work from there. But I also sometimes work from inside the car, and I'm going to show you some accessories that I bought for that in a moment. I've been seeing a lot of people sleeping in their Model 3 and not so much in the Polestar so far. And one reason for that is no camp mode. And I have to say, I didn't miss it that much. Sure, I wish Polestar would add the camp mode to the car as well, but because it was so warm, if you roll down the window, that's perfectly fine. And there's also a setting where you can have 8 timers in the car to preheat the car, but you can set them during the nights, and I'm showing you right now how I did it here. You set 8 timers, and then the ventilation will go on, the AC will kick on, and then you have some wind flowing through the car as well. Now, you can change the temperature, but it's already set to a nice temperature. What we did most of the time is just roll down the windows and let some fresh air in. Now, I don't know how it is in the Model 3, but from driving the Polestar, I can tell you the AC, and especially when you turn on the heating as well, it gets quite loud. So if you are like walking around the car, then you will hear a loud noise coming from the front of the car. That's the heater, I guess, that's spinning. But there are also some other weird noises that sometimes come from the car. Now, I don't know how it is with the Model 3, but that's also something why I maybe wouldn't even turn on the camp mode if it's too loud, because maybe you are in a quieter environment and you want to be with this setup kind of stealthy, then you don't want to have a loud noise coming from your car. So this is the trunk with the passenger seats folded down, and you can see you have a very nice flat surface where you can put the mattress on. And that's what I'm going to do now. Basically, you can use any mattress that you like. I know for the Model 3 there are custom-made beds, like Tesla bed, I think it's called. They charge a very high premium for having a mattress that perfectly fits in the car. And while I think that's really nice, I couldn't find one for the Polestar 2, and also I think you don't really need it. A lot of people that are sleeping alone in their car, they just have a small mattress for like one side, and then they put a fridge maybe on the other side. But for us, because we slept with 2 people in the car, we had a bit bigger mattress, and this is the one that we got. That's the one I already had at home. It's an 80 centimeter foldable mattress, and it fits quite good in the car. So let's just put it in. So now I build up the bed, and that's how it looks like. You can see I didn't put in the sheets so you can see more, but yeah, it's just the bed. As you can see, there's more room on the sides of the car, so you could put in a bigger mattress, but we opted for this one because that's the one I already got, and also you're saving some space for other stuff that you want to put in the trunk of the car. And here you can also see we removed the thing that's connected to the tailgate. I think it's called the trunk lid. Some people said they like to have it kind of like put some stuff on there, put their phones on there, put some food on there, whatever. But yeah, we decided to just leave it at home because it just makes the car a little bit more spacious, and you have a little bit more room to move your feet around, or if you want to put your shoes on when you're still in the car, then you just have more room to do it here. Some people have custom-made mattresses, or they build something custom to keep their head up, because you can see the seat ends a little bit before the mattress ends, and you want to have this extra space, extra length in the bed. But what I found out is just if you put a normal trolley for traveling, that's like almost the perfect height, and it works perfectly. So that's where I put all my stuff. You just always have to move it out when you want to drive, because otherwise there's not enough space for your front seat passenger. So quite comfy. On the sides you can put some shoes we put here. On the other side you put a bottle of water and can have everything organized if you want. And then you also have the sub space underneath the trunk. There's a 12-volt outlet, but we didn't use it because it's not connected to the main battery. This car unfortunately doesn't have vehicle to load capacity, so it's just connected to the small battery that also gets charged via the bigger battery. But we also didn't have a fridge with us, so we didn't use it and just used the USB-C connections from the car. So I usually didn't do that, but because the Polestar 2 is a hatchback and the tailgate opens like this, you can even climb in from here, and then you're in your car. Just have to duck a bit away, and then you can lay here and you have a lot of space. So it feels quite comfortable. And when I look up, I can see the clouds. Now it's day. At night, you can also see the stars, just the brighter stars, because there's a little bit of a tint on the panorama roof, but it's very nice. So as I said, this is an 80 centimeter mattress. You can put a bigger one. You can put, I think, around 1 meter maybe. Now, 1 meter won't fit on the narrowest path of the car, but on the passenger seat, on the rear passenger seat, there you have 1 meter 40. So it's enough space to have your hands wiggle around and to put your head. So for 2 people, I think it's enough space to live in the Polestar 2 for 2 to 3 nights in a row. Any longer, I personally wouldn't recommend, but it's up to you. So when you're sleeping in the car and you want to have some privacy and also want to block out the sun and other lights that maybe are turned on before you go to sleep at night, then you can buy this here. This is a sun blocker. It's originally made for the Model 3, but I found out that it also works on the Polestar 2. And they are very easily to install. You just put one here, one here, one here, one here, and done. Now you can see they don't fit perfectly on the Polestar 2. That's because the Model 3 has a bit bigger windows. So on the Polestar 2, it gets squished a little bit, as you can see here. But it's also nice if you want to have some air intake from the windows anyways, to have this little gap here. And I didn't find it annoying at all. I think they fit perfectly. And I think it's the best solution if you want to have privacy and a sunblock for the Polestar 2. This set comes in 4 pieces, so for every door of the Polestar 2 you can just put it in the window. And now let's talk about the other accessory that I used. So for this accessory you want to make a few adjustments first. So the wheel on the Polestar 2 is very adjustable, so you can put it out, put it away and up and down. And for this you want to put it as far away as possible and maybe a bit up. And then you have this table that normally sits under the passenger seat, and you can just flip it out like this and then you can work from here. Oh, and also I forgot, you also should put your seat back a little bit to have more space to work here. And now I can put my MacBook here and I can do some work, put the AC on when it's hot like this today, and I can work from here for a few hours and I will be very comfortable. So let's talk a little bit about my experience driving the Polestar 2. And I can say it's been really great because a few things. So one thing is the build quality. So everything in here feels quite nice. So you don't have like hard plastic here, everything is, there's some cloth that's been wrapped around all of these parts in the top and also on the sides you have them. You have them here, you have here some very nice material. So everything feels very robust. And also driving the car feels very sturdy too. So you can really go around corners. The car doesn't wobble around. It's pretty precise in the movement. It's not that sporty, like it's very precise, but I think it's really comfortable the way you can drive it. And it just feels like a car. You have a screen also here. And what I also like, you have some buttons here still. So you have windshield wipers here, you have pause and play button, and here you can put in the gears. I think this looks also quite nice where you can select your gears. And yeah, then you have some USB-C ports here, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. What this car obviously is not as good as the Tesla is the infotainment screen. So the infotainment feels more like a normal car. You have an Android system here that's quite customizable. So you also have a browser if you want. You can have Google Maps opened here. Now this car doesn't have camp mode, but you have an app for a fireplace in here, which is quite nice. So this car, also like the Model 3, has a frunk, and I'm going to show it to you now. For opening it, you have to push a lever here, like with a normal trunk. So that's a bit tedious that you cannot do it from the app, but other than that, it just works like a normal trunk. You can open it here. And then basically here we have cables for charging the car, and my girlfriend also keeps her skates in here. So I think it's not as big as the Model 3, but you can fit a lot of stuff in here. And first I thought this is like a deal breaker because I wanted to have all the space that the Model 3 has and also the space that the Model Y has on top of that. But I found it's really enough space in here. Now for closing the frunk, you just pull it down and then don't let it fall from here. Just gently put it until here because otherwise it could be a little bit fast. And then there are 2 latches on each side and just put it in like this and it's closed. Was it really worth it to take the Polestar 2 on a 15 days trip to Lake Constance and sleep 9 days in it and spend 6 days in a hotel? So the numbers come down to this: 2,936 kilometers driven with the Polestar, and the charging cost overall came down to 320 euros and 5 cents. So when you do the math, you come down to 11 euro and 50 cents for 100 kilometers. And I think that's a pretty reasonable amount to pay. Now I have to say we also used the battery of the car quite a lot. So we used it when we were working in the car, having the AC running, or in the night having it on sometimes, not all the times, but having the timer on for the 8 times a night where the AC would be running and the ventilation would be flowing. That would come down to about 3 to 4% of battery usage every night. And so I'm quite happy with the price. Of course, it could be lower. I also didn't drive the car as slow because I really want to see how it drives, and would go as high as sometimes around 150 to 160 kilometers on the Autobahn. Now, full disclosure, I didn't drove the 2,936 kilometers only in these 15 days. That's what I did over the last 30 days. But the price for the energy is also for the whole 30 days. So in the 6 nights, we went to a hotel or Airbnb around Lake Constance. We paid €734.29. If we would have stayed the whole 15 days, so another 9 days in total, we would have paid on average €1,100 for that. So by sleeping in the car and not even going on any campsites, because we didn't want to stay on campsite, we just parked in normal parking spaces. We had zero cost for that, other than a bit of parking fees, maybe €10 to €20. So we saved €1,100 by sleeping in the car. And one thing I almost forgot is we also saved quite a bit on parking fees, because when you're charging, you're basically parking for free, even in the center of the cities. And I remember especially in Friedrichshafen or in Bregenz, we used that quite a lot and got to the touristic areas. Like in Bregenz right now, there are the Festspiele, so there's a lot of people there. But when you are charging your car, there are chargers very near the city center that you can use. So I think saving on the trip on parking fees would add another €50 minimum. And also doing the full 30 days with the Polestar 2, I saved some parking fees at home because of charging. So basically I could stand there in the night for free, and then during the day I would charge it for 4 to 6 hours, then drive to another spot, so I didn't have to pay any parking fees, which are quite expensive where I live. So overall I would say it was worth it to go and sleep in the Polestar 2. So if you go camping and you want to sleep in your car, I would recommend you to sleep in the Polestar 2. Why would I do that? So, of course, you can sleep in any car where you can fold down the rear passenger seats and have a almost flat surface. The one on the Polestar 2 is also not completely flat. There's a slight incline, but I think it works perfectly to sleep in there. I heard in the Model 3 there's a little less of a decline there, so that's maybe a bit better. And at first I thought that could be a problem, but it really was not a problem. It's easy to sleep on there and it's very comfortable. Of course, you have a cramped space there. And yeah, you can do that in any other car like that. But with the electric vehicle, you have the benefit that you can run the motors all the time without having the motor turned on. So with a combustion car, when I'm walking besides it and there's someone leaving it on the streets, I don't like it to inhale all the smoke that comes from the combustion car. So in the electric vehicle, you can run the AC the whole night. Other than a bit of noise, there's nothing that's an inconvenience for other people. And I didn't really would do that to other people, and I think it's also illegal to have your combustion car on during the night or any prolonged time. Yeah, that's why I would recommend you to sleep in a Polestar 2. It was very comfortable. I also enjoyed the experience. So one thing I really liked was that when you go into the bed, it's very cozy. You can see the stars from inside. and then in the morning you get woken up by the sun and you're in nature directly. My girlfriend wants to say something as well. Maybe you can come. So on that note, what were your highlights during our trip?
My highlight was definitely to wake up and be able to be in nature for the first second of the day, go with my yoga mat and enjoy a nice practice on the lake and to be connected with nature and with a beautiful area. So yes, and then we did a nice picnic after that. We had a nice routine and I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh yeah, I will always remember the breakfast we had on the lake right after waking up and then just going out, and you already had everything prepared for the day before, and then just having our breakfast there. And there's like no people there, just maybe someone walking with their dogs, and it's just a very nice atmosphere, very quiet, very calming. And yeah, what I also liked about the car is that it drives really good. So with this car you have the automatic cruise control, and you can also like the automatic steering the car. So we drove a lot of kilometers, and having this function really made driving that much easier. And compared to other cars that don't have that, I really felt like that was also something that I really enjoyed about the car. And also going electric, yes, we did have to make a few stops to charge the car, but how did you like the stops?
I think it's very practical or nice to have the stops to take care of yourself, maybe have a snack or maybe go for a little walk, stretch your body a little bit and go to toilet there, so you don't have stress because you care on a regular basis for yourself.
Yeah, especially doing these longer trips where you're a few hours on the Autobahn and you want to go to another place that's maybe 400, 500, 600 kilometers away. Even with all these nice, comfortable features the car provides, I want to take a break, I want to eat something, I want to just go for a walk a little bit. So these small breaks in between really doesn't matter. And also we had Google Maps to navigate us, and the percentage it shows that you have on the arrival, it's pretty conservative. So when it shows you have like 10%, then you drive a little bit and then the number goes up. It's like 12, 13, 15%. And that also, because of that, I drove faster because I saw, I have more mileage now, so I can drive faster, and now the car maybe takes a bit more power to do that, but then I will be faster on the charger, and then the first percentages on the battery, they load very quickly. So in the Polestar 2, the maximum I've seen maybe is around 120 kilowatt hours. So this is the 2023 model, I guess, not the updated one, where it has higher speeds. And then after around, when you go to 50, 60% of battery load, then it goes down to the like 80, 70 kilowatt hours, but still very manageable. And you get from like 10 to 18% in 25 minutes around that time. So there was never really one time where I thought, damn, now I have to go and charge. And also, you never have to visit a gas station anymore. And I quite like that. Where you can save, of course, some battery is if you go slower on the Autobahn, like going like 100, 110. So you tend to also drive the car a bit different than I drive a regular combustion car, because when you accelerate and then you put on the brakes, you have the recuperation going on, and then the car also takes energy back into the battery. And you can also turn off the AC or the heater. This is something that was around about 4% of battery usage when you also have the heater on, in the summer, of course. And we also have to say it's summer, so mileage is a bit better right now on electric vehicles than in the winter. And one other negative thing maybe about the car is that when we want to sleep at night, sometimes you have to move some stuff around. You have to put the seats all the way back, and that can take a while to do that. But
about a few minutes.
Yeah, a few minutes. But other than that, it was a great experience, and Thank you for watching the video. You want to add something?
I hope it was useful for you, all the informations. I wish you a wonderful day. See you soon.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.